Barnaby Joyce, Deputy PM, a Kubra aficionado, housing expert.
Houses will always be incredibly expensive. You can see the Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Just accept that.
Barney's got no time for city slickers.
I get annoyed when people talk about that the only house apparently that you can buy is in Sydney and it's too dear.
But he might have a plan for them.
There are other parts of Australia. I live in one. It's called Tamworth.
Tamworth, the country music capital of Australia, where it's bloody hot! Well, that's true, but houses are much cheaper here. You can get a 4-bedroom house in Tamworth for $350,000. But just how easy is it to pack up and leave a capital city for a regional centre? Let's rewind a bit. I'm from Sydney, and I hate Sydney. It's expensive, it's congested, and you can't buy a bottle of wine after 11. I've genuinely thought about leaving, but how do I go from here to here? Apparently, there's a man with a plan. Yeah, we got you some smashed ammo.
I know.
I figured it was either that or buying a house. Cheap shop. Back to the plan. What are you guys doing to kind of bring people out here?
Developing jobs, massive tourism, obviously country music. We're midway between Sydney and Brisbane. Aircraft industry, huge rural hinterland, mining to our north. We've got a global economy that's buying more and more of our product at a higher and higher price. People are moving out of Sydney, and they are, in heaps.
Okay, that last bit we can vouch for. Meet Karina and Mark. Early 30s, 2 kids, moved from Sydney 2 years ago.
We had a little boy and living in a 2-bedroom unit was just crazy, he wanted to get out and run around.
200! For them, the move was about lifestyle.
Just in this last year we've been on 2 family holidays, one overseas, which we never would have done if we had been in Sydney.
They say Tamworth has everything they need.
It's got the hospitals, shopping centres, plenty of activities, sports, 2 golf courses.
Yep, that's important.
And Tamworth is set to grow.
It's directly across is going to be a reserve, and then over from that there'll be all new blocks the same size as these ones here, which are around about 2,000 square metres.
I always say to my friends, how many set of lights do you think I go through to get to work? They're like, 4 or 5. None. No sets of lights.
Sure, getting in the car is definitely easier here, but there's a catch to all this.
Hello! Hello, kitties.
Hey, hello, darling.
Come on, Fred.
Karina is from Tamworth. She grew up here, and her parents live 15 minutes away. That was a huge draw card. See, that's the thing. We looked at 10 different case studies for this story, and 8 of them already had family in Tamworth. So 80% of people moving from the city to Tamworth kind of from Tamworth. I don't know, does that count? It's really hard to actually move out of the city when your family's there. So how would you encourage something like that?
There's always got to be a first mover.
And we found them. Meet Mark, Heather, and their 2 Jedis. The force is strong here. It pulled them away from their Sydney families to a much bigger house.
We renovated the kitchen through here, the lounge room. This is the master bedroom. This is one of our spare bedrooms. This is the boys' bedrooms. This is the other guest bedroom. The backyard that you always think that you'd love to have.
Would you have had something like this in Sydney, do you think?
No, absolutely not.
But how did the move come about, you ask?
So I approached my boss and he was pretty flexible with a work arrangement idea of trying to relocate to a regional area. And I took him up on the offer of trying it out.
Wait a minute. Go back. There.
Approached my boss, pretty flexible, relocate to a regional area.
They see me rolling, they hating.
The door opened up for Mark when he was offered a transfer. He does the exact same job here that he did in Sydney for the exact same pay. Do you think if you hadn't had that offer, would you have still moved to Tamworth, do you think?
I don't think we were really thinking it at that stage.
No, we weren't thinking of moving to a regional area.
Jobs are another huge draw card. The regional average is sitting at about 5.2 unemployment, but if you go out to West Tamworth, it hits like 17%.
If you want a job, if you want a job in this town, you're going to get a job.
Where though? We analysed seek.com.au for Tamworth jobs and found almost 500. But around 1/3 of them weren't full-time. Also, most jobs were in these categories. But good luck finding work here if you're in these industries. Or say, this industry.
I'm just wondering whether you guys would have any jobs available here.
I'm not sure.
Does nobody work in this town? Hello? There's no one here. It's probably for the best, really. What about for people like me who are TV presenters? Would you consider opening an SBS bureau here in Tamworth?
In the end, if you don't want to decentralise, then the ultimate position is everything will end up in one town. It would have to. There's always a government policy that talks about moving things out. The only reason Sydney...
Right, that's a no. Truth is, the big draw cards of any place are jobs or families, but not everyone can find those things outside of the cities. So it's actually not that easy to just pack up and move. But the thing is that for a lot of people, it's not that easy to stay either. Now, I don't know what the answer is, but I suspect it's a little bit more complicated than move to Tamworth.